What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Grab My Banner Boxing Podcast. It's me. We've got Schmozzy here, getting ready for the next Grab My Banner Boxing Championship. I believe this will be number 9, correct?
Yes, number nine.
Yeah, so fresh off of a long day, had our farewell to water treatment plant. It's been a while since we've had to think about Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 8 Carter, but let's go back. Let's talk about it. It was a pretty solid event all the way around.
It was a very long event. We've had a lot of fights. There's a top 10 tournament kind of to get into the 10 seed. We had the mass boxer fight. We had him leak his voice.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very
It was
long.
there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I think the main question was there was a masked boxer and a faulty smoke detector outed the masked boxer who ended up being Midas because we had heard Midas in the past with his mic off. We heard that faulty smoke detector needs a battery change. Hear that beep. He accidentally unmutes himself and the beep goes off while he's fighting me. And at that point, I was like, all right, well, he just told the world. He just said it.
During that fight, when you heard that beep, did you get more nervous at like, oh, it is my I'm fighting Midas right now, or were you kind of relieved?
Here, this is how I'm going to paint this picture for you.
All right. Ooh.
Literally, I got less nervous. I relaxed because I was like, there's literally no way I'm beating this guy. Because once I knew it was
Okay.
Midas, I was like, I'm fucked. So it was like how do you say, like I was coming to terms with death, you know? I was just like, all
Yeah.
right, I'm already dead. So there's no point in even trying now. So that's pretty much what happened on that.
Okay. Yeah, I can
And
see
and
that.
then
Yeah.
and then right after he literally murdered me. So yeah, that's basically what happened. So it was that. We also had some crazy stuff in the standings. We saw Baby Ogre take on 3 straight fights where he took it to a round 5 and he lost all 3 round 5s, and that had to be the saddest thing in the world.
It's tough way to go to round five and lose it. I feel like I would rather get 3-0'd than lose a game five. But Baby Ogre did it 3 times in a row. In every single time it was close. I I feel bad, but at the same time, like he's showing that he can push any fight to a game five. So that's pretty good for him.
What he showed me was like, okay, I may not have won these, but I can take it to the distance. And the people he took it to the distance to were not slouches. Like they weren't bad. They were not bad fighters. And he pulled out some clutch rounds. I feel like people forget that Baby Ogre was, when he started, he was the only person to ever play Rampart. He sucked and he was just there for fun, and he's worked his way up into a top 5 position. And so it's like, he lost 3 straight round 5s, but I mean, he's here and he's doing well. So I mean, I can't foresee him moving too far down in the standings, but he looked good out there.
Yeah, I think his place he's pretty solidified in his placement just for this week, just because I mean, like, yeah, he did lose 3 times, which on paper he should go down, but he lost to the number one seed and the number three seed in a game five.
Mm-hmm.
His round percentage, 40%. I mean, he won 6 rounds.
If anything were to bring him down, it would be the loss to Tokir. But Tokir himself is starting to move up the ranks, and he did well. He also beat the number 1 ranked boxer in our series. He beat Midas one time. Midas was able to avenge the loss, but he beat him. So Tokir is no slouch as well.
Exactly. So it's really hard to place where Tokir and Baby Ogre are as of right now, just because of wins and losses.
So without further ado, I think we should get into the GMBBC committee right now, and we should go through this list and set up the new top 10 before Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 9. Let's start with number 1. I think we're both going to agree on this. Number 1 should stay Midas.
I 100% stays Midas, holding it again for week 9.
He went
Perfectly.
3-1 this week. He won 76% of his rounds. He had a 2-0 top 5 record. I mean, he's just taking the competition by storm. It's not really close. He also, when he was playing as the masked boxer, he went 4-0 as the masked boxer. So he took a guy who was outside the division and didn't even get to use the legends he normally would use because he had no new characters on the account, and he still did just as well. So I mean, this guy is definitely our number one, and I can't see him leaving for a while.
And I think the scary part with Midas, when he did play the mass boxer, and even when he played under his main account, was he was playing maybe 5 different legends that day and doing well with every single one. So that is hard to work around.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with everybody. He's beating everybody. He's just doing it all. Let's move on to number 2. Now, this one can get a little weird because we have Coochie, who did not fight last week, and I don't know how we're going to do this moving forward. But Benny Boy did fight. He went 1-1, and so it's like I'm looking at this and I'm like, I wouldn't care if Benny went up to number 2. I also it depends on tomorrow, right? Like if Coochie's able to fight and he does Coochie like things, and it won't even really matter. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's hard with our new system just because we don't have everyone fighting yet. But I have to lean back to the previous weeks, and I think Coochie stays at number 2 for right now, going into week 9. Even though Benny Boy did go 1-1, you look at rounds again, just a slightly under where we got 44%. So I want to say I want to keep Coochie at 2 and Benny Boy at 3, but unless you can make me decide otherwise.
I'm gonna say let's keep it like that. Here's the thing. If you're sitting in a spot and there's a guy in front of you that doesn't fight, you have to force my hand to make me force mine and Carter's hand to make us move you up. Like you have to be so incredibly good at what you did during that week that you're like, I can't, I got to give them no choice. And the reason being is, you know, it would feel like a fluke, I think, almost to us. And I feel like if you're a competitive person, it would feel like a fluke to you as well. You know, like you wouldn't want to just automatically move up just because somebody doesn't go up or fight and maybe they were busy that week. As a competitive person, I feel like you'd want to be, you know, I got this spot because I earned it type thing. And
Yeah.
I think if Benny goes 2-0, I think we move him up. But the 1-1 is the question mark, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, beats Baby Ogre, loses to Midas. If Coochie play or if he fought and he did the same thing, he would stay. If he went 0-2, he would have gone down. It really just depends on like will Coochie fight this week, and if he doesn't, then Benny Boy will possibly move up just because he's getting more fights in. But definitely earning your spot is probably the best way for us to move you up.
Yeah, not just that, but you look at the rounds won versus rounds lost for Benny Boy. He won 4, lost 5. I mean, when you look at that kind of you know, record, not to take away from a win because a win is a win, but going to round 5 up against Baby Ogre, if he 3-0s that, then it makes it even more difficult, you know, because you're 2-0 and you're winning rounds. You look at Midas, he was 13-4 in his rounds last week, and he lost
Crazy.
1 fight. So it was like, you know, you got to force our hand for this. So we're going to keep it Coochie number 2, Benny Boy number 3. We move on down to 4. Now, Baby Ogre lost. He went 0-3. His rounds were 6 wins, 9 losses, and he went 0-2 in the top 5. But like we said, it's going to be difficult to move him down too much more because the people below him are Nexus and Chicken, both of which didn't fight last week.
I think what we have to look at is, will Tokir replace him at 4 spot? It's not like Nexus and Chicken are not going to move up above Baby Ogre, or Ogre's not going to drop below them. It's more of, is Tokir going to replace him at 4 and then Baby Ogre goes down to 5?
I'm actually really glad you brought that up because when we got to Tokir, I was going to make a case for you that he should move all the way up from 7 to 4. Number one, he beat Baby Ogre. Number two, I honestly believe he's better than Nexus and Chicken. There's nothing against them. He's just much more practiced. He went 2-1 this week. He was even on his rounds, won a solid 50%, and he beat the number one guy. He lost to him the next round, but I mean, he beat the number one guy, and he doesn't go negative in rounds fighting, two guys like that. That's insane to me. I honestly believe Tokir should move up to 4, and like you said, Baby Ogre moves down to 5.
Yeah, I like that. Especially Tokir. Look at the top 5. He's 2-1. Baby Ogre's 0-2, and he does have that 1v1 against Baby Ogre. So just looking at that, depending on, or not even depend, or looking at the ranks, you would have Tokir above Baby Ogre just because he beat him in a 1v1 boxing fight.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Tokir moving all the way up from 7 to 4, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys when we're streaming. When you guys challenge better competition and you perform well, it will bode well for you in ways like this. You know, Tokir didn't say no to any fight, and I think he was even gonna fight. I think he was going to fight Benny Boy too, and Benny Boy ended up leaving at the time. He's taking big fights, and he's like doing well in them. Same with Baby Ogre. Like he moves down a spot, yeah, because he didn't get a win, but we're not going to drop him below, Nexus or Chicken. So, I really like the way it's looking right there.
I like that a lot. So we have 6 and 7. Do we stay with the Nexus Chicken right here?
I'm gonna throw another case at you that I feel like we should take seriously. We have 2 people sitting in the 10 spot, one of them being Boba. Now I am confident as fuck. Like I feel it in my soul. I would have bet my house on it. If Boba doesn't have to leave, he goes and makes it to the 10 spot and possibly even beats some of the better guys down, or the lower guys on the top 10 list. He was playing so well. He was boxing everybody and doing really well. He was doing really well in the tournament. He ended up having to leave. I think he beats everyone in that tournament. I think he should be up.
He absolutely dominated me. I mean, I've only played Midas, so I'm comparing him to Midas right now, but I honestly think Boba is on the verge of becoming a top 5 boxer easily. It's just he doesn't have any fights against the top 10 in the top 10 hour. But I mean, if you want to base it off of the top 10 tourney or the 10 seeds tourney, he did well. But do we go off of? Are we going to go off of that?
It really comes down to, are you buying into the hype, right? Like, and I'm telling you, I'm buying into the hype. Now, have I been wrong? Yes. Tokir lost me 100 bones in a very pivotal bones race on the Grab My Banner podcast, and it cost me, and I got roasted accordingly for it. But you got to ask yourself, Carter, are you buying into the hype?
I would love to buy into Boba. The thing is, because I don't count the open hour. I see that as people just messing around trying new things. I'm not going to give someone an advantage, or I'm not going to take away from their skills because they're trying something new or just messing around in open hour. For the 10 spot tournament, I mean, he fought people not in the top 10. He fought me. I mean, I am pretty much in the top 10 in a way.
Oh my God.
But he also fought Kyle. I don't know how Kyle matches up against other people. He, I think that's it. I think it was just me and Kyle because they had to leave before the Bloodhound fight. So, do I think he deserves to be higher? Yes. It's just hard for me to put where he is because he doesn't have any fights with the top 10. I mean, I am 100% down to put him like because right now we have 2 10 seeds right now. I'm down to put him with like if we have 2 8 seeds or 2 7 seeds.
Okay. Let's do this then. We'll go 6 Nexus, 7 Chicken, uh Maddox, Travi, and I think Bloodhound or I think Boba should get sole possession of top 10. Now, did Bloodhound win the tournament? Yes, but either we have a fight first thing tomorrow to like end it and be like this is who's 10, or we just say Boba's 10 and Bloodhound's got to get back in there. Because I think, like, dude, I'm so positive he would have won that. Like, I'm so positive he would have won it.
Yeah, I think if we had a bet, I think I would probably be betting on Boba with some good amount of bones. It's just how are we going to allow Bloodhound to try and get back into a top 10 spot?
We can give them the fight because they're both number 10. And we can
Yeah.
say, if you guys want to fight for it for sure, then and come up with it, we can even do a 5-round fight, let them fight it like it's a normal top 10 fight, and then see who comes out on top. And it has nothing to do with Bloodhound, but I'm looking at his record. He was 0-1, 0
I
round
mean,
wins.
that was against Midas.
It was
so.
against Midas, so we got to cut him a little bit of slack. But I don't know, man. I'm really feeling Boba over here. But
I
we'll
would
let him fight
like
it out.
I was thinking we would give them the both 10 spot and have both of them be able to challenge within the top 10. And then
Yeah.
from there we can be like if both of them have good records, then I think they deserve top 10, and then we look at which of the other 9 might be on the verge of getting kicked out of the top 10.
Yeah. I think if there's anybody who's on the verge, it's more people who just don't come to the fights usually. We typically don't see Nexus. Chicken fights all the time. We see him. Maddox hasn't fought in at least the last 2 events. So it would be guys who just don't show up really. And it's not that they, can't show up or whatever. Some of them might be busy, but we got to do what we got to do. We got to rank these guys how we see them. And if we haven't seen them in a while, then we haven't seen them in a while,
Yeah, I like
So
it. This is a good solid list we got.
very good, solid list. So to finish off the list, Midas stays at number 1, Kuchi, Benny, and Tokir, 2, 3, and 4. We've got Baby Ogre at 5, Nexus, Chicken, Maddox, 6, 7, 8. Travi's still at 9, and then 10. We're going to keep Boba and Bloodhound. We'll see if they want to fight tomorrow for it, for sole possession of 10th place, and then we can go on from there. And then we'll let them fight the top 10, however they want to fight it, and we'll see how it balances out, and we can see who moves on.
It's gonna be a fun day tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to be really fun. We might hop in the ring as well. I've had a lot more fun just chilling in the ring, even though I get bodied every time I step in there. But, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I keep my thing is I keep going against people who are way too good. So I mean, it's fun to a point. I would love to win.
Yeah,
but I think for that to happen, I need to not fight like Midas or Boba.
Yeah,
and then Tokir's like coming after me like, can I like fight Brian, please?
Yeah,
Give me a free dub.
Travi was going after you hard last week. Travi was going after you hard.
I mean, he didn't show up, so
this is the way it goes. We'll see what happens. Let's go into our MVP and our bust of the week. Carter, who's your MVP?
MVP's got to go to my guy Tokir. Bumped up to in the top 10 spot to the 4th seed. Took down Midas And Baby Ogre solidified himself in the top 5. He fought great. I really enjoy watching him fight. I think he keeps on going up and up to the moon.
My MVP is Boba. Dude, this guy in the open fight hour, it was his first event, open fight hour. He did great. Then he goes into the top 10 tournament, does great. He's just doing great all the way around. I'd love to see Boba take it tomorrow. I want him to force my hand. I want him to make me move him from 10 to fucking 5. I want him to just go hard tomorrow, fighting everybody, just throwing them hands, letting them hands go. That's my MVP. My bust of the week. I hate to do it to the man, but I got to say Baby Ogre, to get that close every single time to winning and then to just drop it at the end. It's tough. And I don't mean that as a bust in a bad way, Baby Ogre. It was just a tough week. But you can bounce back and get yourself some W's. But that's got to be my bust of the week, because that's just heartbreaking. That's just heartbreaking.
That is 3 tough game 5s. I might go a different route. My bust might be Midas here.
Oh.
Coming out as a mass boxer the way that he did,
that was tough.
He's had a faulty alarm that he had to change batteries for probably the last 3 months, probably more.
Might even be 3 years.
It's 2 AAA batteries or AA. That's all you need. You get a chair, you pull it out, put the 2 batteries in, close it, you're good. You don't need to hear those chirps anymore. But he decided, you know what? I don't want to do that. It keeps me focused, keeps me locked in. And then when he played as mass boxer, he unmuted his mic. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Twice.
Why? It's like, wait, what's that? Did he just unmute himself? And who's the only one who has a chirpy fire alarm? Midas.
I was almost sad when I heard it, because I was like, dude, I kind of wanted it to be a secret longer. But things happen the way they happen for a reason. Honorable mention bust was Brian, after losing 4 fights and then trying to fight Midas and only landing 1 punch in all 3 rounds. that was bad.
I think we had a bet that was like, will Brian win a round? I should have known better. It should have been, does Brian break Shield?
Well, no, here's what happened. I said, should we do a bet where Brian lands 3 punches? And I think Kyle didn't want me to do that, because I think he was like, dude, that's too mean. It actually would have been like just a great bet. And I think Brian would agree. Like, that was just a good bet, knowing how good Midas is. Because I mean, I don't land too many punches on Midas either. But like, that was hilarious, because we wanted to do that. And I think it was a landslide. Will Brian win 1 round? No. I don't think.
Yeah, like, that's too easy. Come on.
Even his girlfriend voted no. That was the funniest part.
Know. Yeah.
I mean, she's trying
definitely
to get them
next
bones.
time. Next time we got to do like 2-3 punches, probably 3.
Yeah, I think that'll be the best way to do it. All right, boys and girls, that'll just about wrap it up for the Grab My Banner Boxing Championship podcast number whatever. I don't even know. But we have the Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 9 tomorrow. Make sure you tune in, twitch.tv/Grab My Banner podcast. That's where we're going to be live at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So 3 p.m. Eastern. Lots of our listeners are Eastern time. So make sure you tune into that. We'll be having the open fight hour at first, and then we'll go into the top 10 fights. And it's not like a set card like before. You just say you want to fight. If you're in the top 10, we'll get you going. If you're not in the top 10, you can challenge someone at 10, try to fight that. Go ahead and try your luck, and we'll see how long it goes. Maybe a little short, maybe a little long. Who knows?
Just to specify, it is Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, we're recording on Saturday night. So make sure you tune into that. If you, for whatever reason, are unable to watch it live, go ahead and tune into the after broadcast. Just catch up on everything that went down, because I'm sure there's going to be some mayhem taking place. We've got a lot of crazy things going on. Open Fight Hour is always fun to watch too, just because you have random people coming in and trying it for the first time. We had some newcomers last time, so make sure you check that out. And also, don't forget, the best place to train, the best people to train with are the folks over at the Grab My Banner podcast Discord. DM us for the link. We'll send it to you so you guys can hop in, chill with everybody. It's probably one of the best places to be if you're trying to find an Apex teammate and throw them hands with all those members. That'll just about wrap it up for the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.
Go grab some bad bets.
Go grab some bad bets, boys.
Down bad.
Big man rain.